back to the garden. Figured I would give you a looky over for August. Weather's been really strange here, and I wasn't able to get out here and harvest because I'm trying to deal with stuff inside and they're having work done. So, big problem that I just found. I'll go this way. I said I just missed it by like a day. One of my cabbages split, but it'll still be good. Just cut that part off, but now I have to harvest these cabbages here. I knew it was going to happen, but just not enough time to make sauerkraut, which is what I want to do with it. I asked Debbie for help a few times. So one of the cabbages are split. You can cut that part off. So I would say all the green ones are ready to be harvested. Red ones, they're doing fine. These onions, I think they should be harvested. And then let's go this way. So there's going to be another harvest. Sunflower that was here, Thomas thinks he broke it because they had the trash here, because everything is back there for the deck to be done. That cabbage, the OS cross, is looking fine. There's a zucchini in here, and huge zucchini right there. I have to go through this. These are two new ones I planted. It looked like something dug in it this morning, but I just fixed it up. And one new one I think I put in there, but this yellow one hasn't been doing anything. I don't know. I might pull it out. So that sunflower's looking good. Just we had to put, well, they moved it all. Remember the storm, that video? The top's not even put back on, but this is where everything had to go because that's the bottom part that was done. So, in case you're new here, hi, I'm Melody. They're getting their deck redone. Hopefully I just said that correctly. So everything is back here. I'll have to keep an eye on things. Let's check the beans while we're at it. I did give this some fish emulsion. I think it's because it's in the shade. For lettuces, that's all well and good, but there are some beans. I was trying to get rid of some of the yellowing that I saw. So yeah, there's some beans that could be picked. Not like a ton, but I also didn't walk all the way around it because the back is being blocked now. Normally with beans, when the leaves are like this, I'll just usually pull them off. But these are extra beans that I planted. Just figured I'm seeing them, I might as well just pick them, which I probably shouldn't be picking them. But you know how it goes when you're trying to maybe give somewhat of a garden tour. You see something's ready, I don't know, just started picking some beans. But it's warm today. Beautiful Cosmo. So a little disappointed about the cabbage, this OS cross. I'm just gonna let that be. I just tied a string on that zucchini plant because I think the wind keeps pulling the tomato cage up, which reminds me I need to cut the string off, but I just pulled that out. So I basically just tied it to the fence. So I'm gonna cut it. Okay, I just cut the extra string off to keep the tomato cage pulled to the fence because the wind keeps getting that. And there's zucchini on there that needs to be harvested. I'm still not seeing anything on this one, which I've said before was my most prolific. So, and I have starts. So, this is August garden tour. In case I didn't say that straight out the gate. Borage. Look at this sunflower. It's spinning out a bunch of different heads. This one's done. I never like to cut this one off though. I don't know if anybody else is like me, because I feel like once you cut this main one off so the squirrels don't eat the seeds, I think it usually kills it off. Kills off the sunflower plant. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I'm at Thomas's and Jean's gardening. And this is obviously where I've been. And it's been a real struggle with cucumbers in here. There's a hole now currently, which I don't know why, but we got like a bunch all at once. When I mean a bunch, maybe like 10 all at once. And then the plants, we're getting these yellow spots. And then I came out a couple days later and the plant definitely looked like it was dead. So let's hope, because I have a green stalk that's over near the chickens that has all cucumbers in it. Hopefully that will give us some more cucumbers. So I'm gonna have a lot on my hands to do. I did my double chocolate zucchini muffins, which, oh my Lord above, is just like an ooey gooey brownie. It's a definite must make. I will go down in the description box. I haven't posted the recipe. I will go down there and put the recipe in there, but not sure if I should even let these cucumbers keep going, considering I have the other ones in the tower. I'm just not sure how they're going to do on that brand new green stalk from Jay. I did add in a new zucchini plant the other day and one there as well. This is another one. It looks like the wind keeps taking the tomato cage and kind of moving it, which can definitely damage a zucchini plant. But look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. 2 big zucchini plants are on there. So we're going to have to come back out here and do a harvest. So there's a big one on there. Can get that off. I'm not seeing anything on this one. There's a couple flowers, but that's about it on this plant. A couple tomatoes that are going to need to be picked, and peppers. I got to get all the eggplants off. And I definitely have to get to the cabbage. I'm not harvesting any more of the basil because I want to do some pesto for the winter. So definitely some peppers to pick. And I got to check on the celery to see if that's ready yet. And I think what I'm going to end up doing with the celery is putting it in pieces that are big enough for like stew. And then anything that needs, like, I guess some diced celery. So a couple more tomatoes to pick. I did state I'm not sure if these red beets will amount to anything, but so the red isn't ready yet, the red acre cabbage. And like I said, this one just split because Jean was on a diet, Thomas was away for work, so we weren't eating any of it, and there was other things to pick and just didn't get to it in time. So that's unfortunate, but it's still salvageable. And I think I'm going to end up making sauerkraut. So within the next day, we got to get these out and then give the lower leaves to the chickens. These are the newer beans that I planted. That pepper plant is looking weird and not very good. Let me see. Might be a poblano pepper. We have some banana peppers we're going to have to pick. And I'm not sure, but this plant here, they've been staying the same size. I don't know what's up with that. This particular plant here. Unless these are those hot cherry peppers that I'm talking about. That might be them. This is what the celery is looking like. So a lot of celery. These beans are looking pretty good, thank God. And we're going to have to definitely come in here and do a big harvest. But I have a lot of zucchini I have to deal with. And yeah. So that's what's kind of going on for this small little garden tour. Got to pick some tomatoes, cut some blight off. I think that tomato plant right there is dead. And because it's just flimsy looking and it's really, really yellow. So a little bit of cleanup. Sunflowers doing good. Thank God, because the rest just keep getting broke, and that one's so puny still. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think there is. Copenhagen. That will usually happen too hot, then it rains, and then the red acre cabbage is fine. This is supposed to be a quicker one. That one can stay. That's not ready yet. But 1, 2, 3, 4 is ready. So, yeah. And we should probably start picking out these onions, even if some of them are smaller. That's okay. It's Walla Walla onions. They don't make the greatest storage onions, but that would go pretty good in anything we're going to be cooking or eating. And I have to deadhead the calendula. I already feel like my legs are getting bits. But I see orange peppers in there. Marigolds finally took off. They look good. There's going to be lots of peppers buried in here. But I harvested a bunch. So, cubanellas are ready. And this is that eggplant I showed at the beginning of the season. It always looked terrible. There's an eggplant on it. I might give this one to the chickens. But I knew I should have picked that. I was late. That's an Oswald. It's probably going to be salvageable. What's not will go to the chicken. I thought this one here wasn't going to be salvageable. Would go to the chickens. This is fine. It's still hard. There's others there, so I'm going to cut them off. Maybe do eggplant parm. Might be a good idea. Because I doubt that I'm going to do eggplant parm. But I doubt that I'll do it as a freezer meal. That would probably be really smart. To have an extra one for the winter. And this is still hard, so that's good. I got to harvest that Oswald. So, lots of beautiful peppers. Lots of lovely blight. You know, we keep it real over here. Tomatoes to pick. And I was harvesting a lot of the basil, and then it dawned on me like, oh no. So I stopped. I think it's been maybe 3 days. I stopped harvesting the basil. The most I'll do is pick off just the top if I see it starting to flower. But let's just hope I get enough to do a batch, whether it goes in jars or you can put it in a freezer baggie, but to have pesto for over the winter, because it's amazing when you have that freshness. There's a tomato right there that has a crack in it, so that's definitely from the rain. And we have crazy temperatures, so I guess a little bit of a weirder garden tour. This is August's garden tour. The beans, I picked some beans off of that the other day, but I think I'm going to rip them out. Pick any of the extra beans off. Celery still has some time. We'll get any of the peppers and any of the tomatoes and cabbages. We'll do that together. I was working on some herbs. And we'll have to harvest zucchini. There's a nice, beautiful tomato down there and a couple in the back. And then back there is buttercup squash. And I see a... let me think. I grew buttercup. Yeah, my brain's not working just yet. So there's a few on there. And then there's another squash right there. But I don't think the meat squash or any of that turned out. And I see a yellow zucchini in there. So this is part, I extended it out to be able to grow a little bit more. Little toes or little fingers. Those Japanese eggplants. I don't know. I just think the pepper plants stayed smaller. If you've been around a while, you know my pepper plants. They usually get growing and they're taller than I am. I think there's just something off this year. And something's definitely off with the eggplant. Whether it's the soil or if it's just the eggplant, it's just not producing a whole ton. And I think the bush beans were a lot slower this year as well. So I'm not going to keep them in there if it's not doing anything, but I do see some extra flowers. So like I said, I just picked off of that the other night. I didn't bring these along because I wasn't trying to get eaten alive. So yeah, that might be it for those beans. But I do see some more still on there. And then hopefully I can get to that, pick any beans off. But just didn't want to forget to do an August garden tour. And that's what this is, with the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know how it goes once it gets a certain time. But don't forget to start other seedlings so that you can have a fall garden. Now let's go back out here and look in the zucchini patch. I will set this right here for now. But this table needs to be moved because it's on top of my OS cross. Okay, so definitely have that big one there to pick. There's another one there. There is a yellow one, but it's not looking the best. And I thought I saw... And there's a black one right there. It needs to be picked. It doesn't seem like it grew much from the last time I checked it. So yeah, and this OS cross is doing good. Let's take a look in. So these might be spent. I'm not really sure. But I do have extra plants if we want more zucchini. But I have a lot of zucchini to deal with. So that's the garden tour. Bunch of herbs, squashes, zucchini patch. It's still holding up. Phew, the breeze feels good. Beauty of sunflowers. So yeah, a lot of preserving. It's going to have to be done with a lot more zucchinis that I got. And then we're going to do some sauerkraut. So love you all. Like, subscribe, and share. This is August's garden tour. A little bit to show. This borage plant has just been amazing. I'm so glad I tied it to the fence. It's still going with some zinnias for the pollinators. But the bottom of my legs are getting chewed alive. And that's what's going on here. So I'll bring you back for, yet again, another harvest. So I'll talk to you soon, friends.